In this video, I'm going to go over 5 different microphones that I've been using since I've been working from home. Now, some of these microphones are very different from each other and they're intended for different uses, but I really just wanted to utilize what I already owned or had access to. Let's get into it. Since the start of the quarantine, my life has revolved around Microsoft Teams or Zoom, whether it be for work or for personal things, whether it be like church meetings or family calls, everything has been on Zoom. Zoom this, Zoom that. So because of that, I wanted to improve my overall production quality. So one of the ways I did that first was to make sure I can connect my Sony camera here that I already had. This is my Sony a6500. And make sure I can connect that to my computer. So I got a capture card. So check out my video on cheap capture cards or the A10 Mini. 2 good ways to bring in your video from your camera that a lot of you already own. But the other half of it was improving my audio quality. Remember, half of a good video presentation or production is good audio actually. And sometimes it can be even more important to have good audio because a lot of times people are forgiving for mediocre video quality, but they can be very annoyed and unforgiving about poor audio quality because they'll soon tune out very quickly. So if you don't know me, my name is Patrick and this is Everyday Tech. Everyday Tech for everyday people. And today I'm going to compare 5 different microphones that I've either acquired over the years or have access to right now. As I mentioned in the beginning, I have 5 different microphones here, and I'll explain as I go through them how or why I purchased or acquired them. Let me just say this up front, I am not an audiophile. I'm not really into microphones themselves, but I did want to just kind of up my audio game as far as my online presentations or online meetings are concerned. So I did purchase a few pieces of equipment that allowed me to use these different microphones. Now, I was very budget conscious as far as my purchases are concerned. So one of the first things that I bought was an audio interface. And actually, I bought this audio interface mainly because I was doing an online event or a hybrid event. I was doing a Zoom wedding. So I needed to be able to bring in some microphones and at the same time output that audio to the live crowd that was there too. So I purchased the Audient EVO4 and I just did a review on that. And so check out that video over here, I believe. Then more recently, I purchased a mic booster, a Klark Teknik CM-2 mic booster. Now, I'm not going to do a review on that. I don't have too much to say other than that it works very well. So check out my buddy John's channel, Coffee Talk and Tech, and he did a nice review on it. And he has a lot of other resources and other videos on some affordable microphones as well. So the last thing I'll say is about my kind of environment here. Now, this is my home office in my basement here, and it's fairly quiet other than when my kids start like running around upstairs and the pounding and the footsteps. Anyway, the other thing that's pretty loud in my room or my home office here is my video light. This is my newer 60-watt video light, which is probably the noisiest thing in this office because it has a pretty loud fan. But I got it for very cheap on Amazon Prime Day. So I'm budget conscious here, and I didn't want to spend a little bit more on a video light that was quieter. So this has worked out very well for me. And in a lot of my videos, what I've done is I've brought that audio into Audacity, which is another free program, budget conscious, and I was able to just eliminate a lot of the background noise. But in this video, I'm not going to do any processing, and I'm going to do some, when I do the comparisons with these videos, I'm going to show you kind of the noise floor of what you would hear without any speaking, and see if you can tell the difference between the 2 microphones or the few microphones that I'm comparing. So I'm going to quickly introduce these 5 microphones that I'm going to compare, and then I'm going to do some side-by-side comparisons, and you can decide which microphone you think is the best. Now, one of the microphones I'm actually plugging in via the inline jack, the 3.5 millimeter jack. One of the other microphones is plugged in via USB. It's a USB condenser mic. And then I have the 3 other microphones that are plugged directly into my audio interface. And 2 of them are plugged into the mic booster because they are dynamic microphones. And I'll get into the condenser versus dynamic microphone in this video as well. Now I'm going to introduce these microphones in kind of chronological order of when I acquired them or started using them. And so the first microphone I'm going to compare is the Blue Yeti microphone. Now this is the original Blue Yeti. Now this microphone gets a lot of hate now because I think a lot of different people are getting it because it seems like the trendy thing to do. But actually I enjoy this microphone a lot for various situations. And I agree, there are a lot of different USB microphones out there for the price, probably a better value and better quality now. But I got this about 8 years ago refurbished. So I think I got it under $40 or $50, somewhere around that range. So for that time, 8 years ago, and for that price, this was definitely a great buy. So I just really needed a general purpose microphone for various online meetings. We did very few then, and some music recordings that I did, just kind of casual recordings. So this has worked out very great. And this still works out very great for different situations, especially for bigger gatherings, church gatherings. I'm able to change the different pattern pickup so I can make it surrounding, omnidirectional. I can make it this, kind of different cardioid pattern here. So anyway, it's a very good microphone, very versatile microphone for different situations. Now, if you're doing these different types of online shows, like individually like this, you can definitely find a better microphone somewhere else. The next microphone that I'm going to compare is this little guy. This is the Rode Wireless Go version 1. Now, I got this originally because I started doing these YouTube videos and I wanted something that I can connect directly to my camera and just have pretty good audio quality. I was kind of tired of using a shotgun mic, or even the built-in mic was terrible. So I wanted something that was very versatile, and I got this pretty much used as well on eBay. So this has been a great microphone. I still use this microphone, not necessarily for these kind of online meetings, although I did in the beginning, but it's very versatile. I use it for live events as well. I can use this little adapter here and hook it up like a kind of like a stick mic there. Also, it allows me to move around a little bit more as I'm around my office here. So this is a very versatile microphone here. The next microphone on the list is the ISK BM-800. Now, this microphone was given to me a few years ago. A student at the university that I work for didn't want this microphone and just left it with the IT department. And my coworker asked if I wanted it, and I said sure. And fast forward to us being in the quarantine, I bought an audio interface, and I realized that I had a microphone to plug it into. So this is the microphone that I use for a majority of my videos in this channel so far. And then it was majority of my online meetings I was using this microphone for. So this has been a great microphone for me. This is a condenser microphone, which means it's more sensitive. It's good for vocals, picking up different nuances as well, but it picks up a lot of background noise, and this is where the video light fan comes into play. I'm not going to turn off the video light fan in these comparisons and tests because I kind of want to give you a real world comparison and test of how I use these microphones, so you can decide which microphones you think is the best. The next 2 microphones that I'm going to compare are 2 microphones that I'm borrowing indefinitely because we're not doing any large in-person church meetings. We have a lot of unused audio equipment, so I decided to bring some of that audio gear home for personal use, and then when we get back to these normal meetings, I'll bring them back. But the first one is the Shure PG-48. The PG series is an entry-level microphone. And this microphone and the next microphone is a dynamic microphone, which means that it's really good for certain situations, for instrumentals, for loud vocals. but the sensitivity of these microphones are very low. And so this is where the Klark Teknik mic booster comes in. So because I have the Klark Teknik mic booster, this has allowed me to use these different microphones. And what my hope in using these dynamic microphones is that it'll eliminate a lot of the sound from the video light here, and I don't have to do too much post-processing. But this is the PG-48. The last microphone I'm going to compare is similar to the previous microphone. This is the Shure SM48 microphone. Now this is very similar to the previous microphone in appearance and build quality, but the SM series of microphones is Shure's mid-level series of microphones, as opposed to the PG series, which is their entry level. So we'll see if it's really a step up from the previous series of microphones. Now this is a dynamic microphone plugged in directly to my Klark Teknik CM-2 mic booster, and we'll see if it eliminates the fan noise from my video light here as well. Here's how I'm going to do these tests. Now I'm going to do two very simple tests. First, a simple noise floor test. So we're going to see how these microphones pick up the ambient noise and the fan from the video light here. And then I'm going to do a very simple kind of speaking test. Now I'm going to do the settings here the way I would do the settings with my normal meetings or video recordings. I'm going to record in Ecamm Live because that's what I normally record my videos in. The last thing I'll mention is the ISK microphone and the two Shure microphones have windscreens on them to kind of take care of the plosives or the pops that sometimes can be picked up through recording. And so this is how I'm setting up this entire kind of test. This is the Blue Yeti microphone. It's about 2 or 3 inches from my mouth right now. This is how I normally would use it. This is the Rode Wireless Go mic, version 1. It is now clipped on my shirt like a lapel mic. This is how I normally would use it. This is the ISK BM-800. It's about 2 inches from my mouth, and this is how I would normally use it. This is the Shure PG48. It's about 2 to 3 inches from my mouth. This is how I would normally use it. This is the Shure SM48. It's about 2 to 3 inches from my mouth. This is how I normally would use it. My name is Patrick, and this is Everyday Tech. Everyday Tech for everyday people. My name is Patrick, and this is Everyday Tech. Everyday Tech for everyday people. My name is Patrick, and this is Everyday Tech. Everyday Tech for everyday people. My name is Patrick, and this is Everyday Tech. Everyday Tech for everyday people. My name is Patrick, and this is Everyday Tech. Everyday Tech for everyday people. So what can we conclude from all these microphone tests? Well, let me rank these microphones from last place to first place. In last place would have to be the Rode Wireless Go mic. This is definitely not the right environment and best use case for this. It is a versatile microphone because it's wireless, but it's more for the run and gun, on the go type of video shooting. And it has served me very well for live events as well. So I just like the fact that it's wireless. It gives me a lot more flexibility. But as far as a noise floor test, it did pick up a lot of ambient noise, and it picked up the fan noise from my video light. So I would say the Rode Wireless Go is in last place. I have heard that the Rode Wireless Go version 2 with 2 transmitters, it has a little bit better, richer sound. Next on the list, I would say, is the Blue Yeti microphone. Now, not to say that it's a terrible microphone, but it does have a different sound. It's not as rich or fuller as the top 3 microphones on this test, but it is a very versatile microphone, and I'd say in the right environment, it will serve you a lot better, especially in group environments. Now, this is an 8-year microphone. I bought this 8 years ago, I bought it refurbished, and it has served me so well over the years. It was a great value at the time, but you know, in this day and age, for a $100, $120 microphone, even a USB microphone, there are a lot more better options out there. Okay, so now for the top 3, and this is pretty much a toss-up for me. They all sounded very similar in the voice test. The noise floor test was an interesting result. And I would say maybe in third place would be the SM-48. And it maybe has to do with the settings I put it at. But anyway, between the SM-48 and the PG-48, I would say it's a tie for second place actually. Now the noise floor test was interesting with the SM-48. It was different than the other noise floor tests from the other microphones. It's like it was processing the audio a little bit differently. Now another factor that could be coming into play here is these Shure microphones, the SM-48 and the PG-48, are pretty old and used microphones. They've been used for a number of different events, and so that could have a factor into how these microphones tested out. And coming out in first place and just barely edging out the other two microphones is the ISK BM-800. Now this one retails for $100 and it is a condenser microphone, and the noise floor test wasn't as bad as I thought it would be compared to the other dynamic microphones. Now I don't have any more higher quality dynamic microphones to test it out to compare it with, but as far as the voice test is concerned, I think it was the most suitable for my voice. Now remember, every voice is different, and every voice with a microphone combination is different. So if you're looking for the right microphone, make sure you test out a number of microphones in this way. Now if I were starting from scratch and I needed to buy microphones, but I could only choose from these microphones that I've tested, I would probably go with the Shure SM48. And even though I said it came in third place, it actually came a tie for second place. And really the BM-800 kind of just barely beat out the other two microphones. But as of this recording, the PG-48 and the SM-48 are about the same price. So I would go for the SM series of microphones because that's more of the mid-level instead of the entry level. As far as the ISK BM-800 is concerned, it's about $100, and that's over twice as much as the other two. Now, is it twice the quality? I would say no. And actually, if I dialed in the other two microphones a little bit better, it could probably beat out this ISK BM-800. And even though I needed a mic booster, even with the mic booster, I think still the SM-48 is probably a better value than the condenser microphone. Now, I haven't tried out more expensive microphones like the SM-58, the Pod mic, or the ever famous SM-7B, but I wanted to do a test and a comparison between the mics that are readily available for me. Which mic did you think did the best on these tests? What could I have done differently? Leave a comment below. Now, if I really wanted to reduce the ambient noise or the sound from my video light, as far as the pickup is concerned, probably the cheapest and most affordable way for me to do it is not to get another microphone, but probably just change the video light actually. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and consider subscribing. Until the next one, see ya.